Right, core team, stand by. I think we're live now. Let's get started. Hello and welcome. Eh, so, for everybody joining around from the globe, thank you so much for being here. Uh, I think we can start our session now. So, we are finally here. We are at the designx Awards, where we're going to announce the winners, followed by a talk and much more. So the journey for the past 4 weeks has been amazing. We've seen great ideas, great presentations by the team, and we were really amazed to see how it all went down. So I'm Rohan Sridhar. I'm one of the coaches at Yomo Design, and I welcome you all officially to the designx Awards ceremony. We are usually used to hosting the designx Awards with a lot of bling, but this year it's going to be a little different. We're going to be completely online and live. So let's get started. And to begin with, I would like to, invite and thank all the people who are here, including the jury members, mentors, partners, participants, mentors, and so on. We also have the core team present here, whom I will be soon introducing. So to kick it off, I would like to start by introducing Kaladar Bapu joining in from New York, who's the chairman of Yomo Design and UX India. Bapu, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Rohan. Good morning and good evening. To mark this celebration, I'm super excited to speak alongside my mentor, guide, teacher, inspiration, and chief guest, Dr. Mary McBride. She is one of the few people with who always enjoy talking to and listening to. In fact, I carry a notebook to make notes on our long conversations. She has a wealth of knowledge on all topics. And if you want to capture visual notes on her talk, do share with us. We will be glad to publishing it. As most of you know, UMO Design Foundation has been inspiring design-driven social innovation by addressing urgent social issues over the past 2 decades. A couple of months ago, I was taken aback with the news on the pandemic and lockdown. I spent time introspecting what I'm doing as a socially responsible person during these difficult days. Humanity today is facing the most challenging times we have ever seen. Our world might not be the same again. So what are we, as human-centric designers, thinkers, and thought leaders, doing about it? With this thought, we launched UMO Unites, a response to COVID-19. UMO Unites ongoing program that connects the inspired with the enablers to create a long-lasting social impact. It is a straight from the heart initiative that reflects our founding philosophy. We call for social impact catalysts who can make a difference by contributing their time. All it takes to bring your passion, empathy, and skills to the table. We got a tremendous response and formed a task force of 300 people to create a lasting social impact. We have thinkers, designers, leaders in different capacities, helping us as ambassadors, advisors, mentors, jury members, educators, etc. UMO Unites initiative together is envisioned as 6 programs. Express is to express and share your ideas, thoughts, expressions, problems, opportunities to inspire and solve. And the program today we are talking about is Explore, a social innovation challenge that aims to create a positive impact on people's lives by identifying urgent social issues and addressing them by design. designx Awards is one of the Explore programs. And the program expertise enables us by showcasing our strengths and standing united to boost the confidence of our community. Whether you lost your job or concerned about losing a job, we are here with you. And the experience we're going to launch today, the program aims to create a cadence of very pleasing talks and expert speakers to cover a broad range of diverse topics. And the program Excel, we're trying to bring in a change in the design education, basically to enable, get inspired, trained, and certified to excel in your careers. And Execute is a program we aim to connect with like-minded people to solve urgent social issues identified by government and NGOs. As most recent edition, we are thrilled to launch UMO Experience. In its inaugural edition, we will celebrate the success of our designx Social Innovation Challenge 2020. I want to invite my partner in the crime, Shyam Sundar Duriseti, who will lead the Experience Initiative, to introduce Professor Mary and launch the program. Shyam, it's over to you.
Hey everyone, this is Sundar Duriseti joining from San Francisco. I'm the co-founder and co-chair of this award ceremony, as well as all the programs that Mr. Bapu has mentioned. So as Mr. Bapu has mentioned, right, so yes, I'm his partner in crime. We've been spreading the goodness of design over the last 20 years through various programs and conferences. But everything has changed now. We are not conferencing physically. We are not meeting people. Thanks to the pandemic, we all have quickly adapted to the new norm. The majority of the job force is working from home. Students are learning from home. And all the communities like ours, right, so are coming together online to do what we do the best. That is to collaborate and to innovate by design. As the shift to the digital gains full steam, the erstwhile models of knowledge sharing in a conference setup are transforming fast. And we see this as an urgent need, and that's the reason why we have come up with this program. And herewith we are introducing UMO Experience. What is UMO Experience? UMO Experience is our flagship program that is intended to deliver delightful design-centric stories and deliberations digitally to inspire and engage our design community. It's a program and a platform that spreads and showcases design goodness through expert talks, discussions, deliberations, debates, panel sessions, and celebrations of this kind that we are doing today. That is the award ceremony, right? So, and it also celebrates success stories, great design stories, great designers, leaders, diversity in design, women in design, and the ever-expanding universe of design. And herewith, we are really happy and glad to launch this program, which is going to be run all through the year and then showcasing all this that we have discussed, right? So all the good stuff that we as designers do. So to mark the inaugural edition of this, we are going to do two things today. One is we are going to announce the awards, that is the award ceremony for this Global Innovation Challenge. And more importantly, we are super excited to welcome our chief guest and our keynote speaker, Dr. Mary McBride. Just to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Mary McBride is the chair of the Graduate Department, Design Management, Pratt Institute, New York. Mary became involved with the design management community in the 1990s, as early as in the 1990s as a consultant for major design companies. She earned her PhD from NYU, specializing in marketing communications and system analysis with a focus on the design of organizational systems, marketing strategies, and management structures for peak performance. Today, Mary is the leader of Creative Enterprise Leadership Initiative at Pratt, the international graduate programs in design management and arts and cultural management. She's also the executive editor of Catalyst Review. Dr. McBride was the she was the director of executive communication at New York University's Stern Graduate Business School of Business and co-director of the Management Decision Laboratory, where she ran the organization's development lab. As a clinical professor at NYU's Wagner Graduate School of Public Service and coach to leaders across the social, public, and private sector, she helped create a bridge between strategy, design, and social innovation. Internationally, she has been a distinguished visiting professor at many international universities, and she has been recognized with various awards for excellence in teaching. She is a well-known international speaker and is an invited keynote at 2020 RISE conference in Thailand. Mary has been nominated for Aspen Institute Faculty Prize Award and has been recognized by Aspen's Business and Society program for helping to identify future leaders. Her Thinking on the Triple Bottom by Design and Design Management Future Forward has been published in DMI. Her new book, Mission 2030, Leading Life-Centered Innovation with co-authors Maren Mayer and Zhu Bai, will be available in the fall of 2020. It is dedicated to all those who know that we can innovate our way to more equitable and prosperous futures and provides guidance on how to do that. So we at Yomo.design are extremely delighted and feel extremely lucky to have such a luminary like Dr. McBride as our chief guest today to launch Yomo.design experience with our keynote and present awards to the winners of designx Social Innovation Challenge 2020. Herewith, I welcome our honorable chief guest, Dr. Mary McBride, to educate and inspire us with her amazing keynote. Dr. Mary McBride.
Thank you. I think after that, the next words should be no pressure, right? Thank you very much for that very generous introduction. And I would like to begin where we ought to begin, with gratitude. So if I can get a little help from my friend Bapu to advance my slides, I'll start there. So my talk today is Life After Lockdown, Designing a New Normal. You can advance the slide. And the bigger question is how to design a new normal. Next slide. First, we need to discover what it is that normal actually means. So for those of you who troubled over those statistics classes, you know that normal is 3 standard deviations away from a norm. Unfortunately, most of us in this virtual room did not set those norms. So normal in a way means to stay on a straight and narrow path defined by somebody else. And if you depart too much from that normal, you're not likely to be very successful in a normal world. If you could advance the slide, Bapu. But that normal world is suddenly not so normal anymore. Although scientists who've been studying normal for a long time could have told us to expect a visit from COVID-19. In fact, in 2012, Laurie Garrett wrote a book called The Coming Plague. It's a rather large book, but I would recommend it to you all because it is absolute evidence that the leaders of every country in the world could have and should have been prepared for this pandemic that would hit their people. If you would, Bapu. Okay. So what are we seeing as normal now? Now it has been normal, it's become normal to think of plagues as a part of our everyday life. Bapu. It has become normal to think of feet on the street, people protesting for the right to be part of a world that is emerging, and at least in countries like the United States, being repelled by the very people whose salaries we pay to protect us. Next slide. Let's look at what normal has been for a long time. So for those of you who are following the events around the world where people are claiming that they can't breathe, that they've got a boot on their neck, well, that's been going on for a long time. I've lost my slide, but maybe you can see it. Bapu, can you? Hello? Can you see? Richard? Hello?
Mary, you're there, yes.
Okay, that's good to know. Nothing I like less than talking to myself. If you could take me back a slide. Okay, so if we just stay here for a minute, because this is a slide I think that most of us on the call can identify with. This is a young person not contributing to the pollution in his city. He's riding a very simple vehicle. Maybe it's got a motor on the back. I doubt it. It looks like it's just, something that will get him with his pedal power to the next place he wants to go. But his life is being compromised because there's a chokehold on life that is suffocating millions way before COVID, way before we had protests against police who were putting their knee on the neck of life. We were watching our children struggle to breathe. Next slide. We were watching fires take over places like Spain, Portugal, Australia, and California. I'm just mentioning those places where there are people with affluence, people whose beautiful homes were destroyed, and people who grow some of the foodstuffs that we all need, who watch their fields in flame. This is an ordinary, everyday occurrence. And what science tells us is that by 2050, according to the US Forestry Service, wildfires will be twice as destructive as they are today. I only have a few minutes with you today, but I don't want to rush through this too quickly, because what we're seeing is when plagues and pollution and fire become normal, there's something not quite right. Next slide. More normal. Normal is now assaulting life. Here you see a youngster coming into the world who will be at risk of autism tenfold because of the temperature and the ozone level that we're creating in this world. Normal. Next slide. Normal. Human beings who have spent most of their time on this planet relating to plants and animals and each other. Maybe warring, maybe at peace, but always being able to find their way into a living system and to respect it, are now in that living system almost as aliens. Normal. Next slide. Normal. Not to say that the human species has been a particularly peaceful one. We can point to all the history that tells us sometimes we don't know how to get along with each other, but frankly, we would not have reached the year 2020 if we were not able to be more peaceful than warlike. But now conflict has become normal. In fact, it's a large part of our economy. In every country in the world, we just get so excited selling weapons to each other. And the more weapons and the more heat, the more conflict. Normal. Next slide. So what has really become normal for your children is that you see this cute little image. I almost didn't put it in because it's a little too sentimental, I think, but I left it in there because you can see that the sentiments, the things that make us human, our heartfulness, our soulfulness, are being eroded by the dream of reaching. That is not Emerald City. That is not Oz. That is where most of us go to work, although hopefully a grim version. Normal to spend your life in lockdown. Next slide. Normal to imagine that eating our planet is a good thing, that our primary identity of consumers can keep our global economy going, even though we know the impact that it's having on the very systems that support our ability to have any kind of an economy. Normal. Next slide. Normal to assault our mothers. Normal to make Mother Earth menacing Earth by changing the entire climate system that it supports life. Normal. Next slide. So before we redefine normal, I just like you to take a pause, just a quick breath, and say, how many of you were involved in designing and defining the normal that I just presented to you? I was not responsible for designing or defining that new normal. I have to say, I've become adjusted to it, and I hope that you never do. We need to define a new normal, and we need to do it now. And we need to do it together, including all of the voices. And that's why I want to be so grateful to these conference organizers, and especially to Bapu, once my student, now my teacher, for showing me that we can create a challenge that is not just another dopey design challenge, but a challenge to together build a future. And thank you to the conference for including so many voices. Next slide. Congratulations to all of you who have entered the challenge, because by entering this challenge, you have officially been recognized for entering the challenge of your life, and your responses have begun to redefine what normal can be. Next slide. This may be normal. It certainly is very cool. If I attend another conference by a futurist telling me that this is all how we're going to live tomorrow, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, because we all know how we live today. This will be one part of our new normal for a very privileged few. Next slide. What you did in your response to this challenge is you used technology in the service of life. Each of your submissions indicated that our future could be both cool and not cruel, that technology need not disrupt, it might actually enable. Thank you so much. Next slide. So, in my words and in the words of our design community, you are prototyping new normals, inclusive normals. You're using technology as a tool that serves life. And these are some of the challenges you took on to assure that those who do not have a weekly paycheck can still secure food, to manage in countries with overcrowded conditions, to safeguard people from viruses and still enable their mobility, to monitor and address domestic violence and bullying at a time when it is on the rise and people are trapped in it, to make medicine mobile, even for those who have very little means, and to ensure that lockdown need not lock people out of education, and demonstrate that when a community shares, it can repair itself, build new skills, and enable everyone. Thank you. Next slide. We need all the possible prototyping we can get now, because without it, we are going to watch life slip out of our hands. Next slide. So I have a simple message for you all today, for those who submitted to the challenge, for those who did not win but entered, and by entering, you win. Okay? For all of those who organized it and attended, and for all of you listening to me now, you matter. No matter what people in power tell you, you matter. Life matters, leadership matters, and yes, innovation. A different kind of innovation than creating the next tricked up toy. Innovation matters. Next slide. So, for those of you who accepted the challenge, you have another challenge: to discover the world anew, to begin to make your own normals, to define the kind of world you want to live in, and to design to include everyone in that world and deliver new normals. Next slide. And there are challenges that you will face. I like this particular graphic because it seems to me to be a situation that a lot of people are facing every day. A somewhat iron fist, a somewhat diminished human being trying to hold the world above his or her head. We need to innovate now for the real conditions of our very real world. And we are going to have to buck the very powerful mores. Let me explain that word. Mores is a sociological term. It's a $50 term, but I like to use it because mores are big stories. And the big story right now is of our material, market-oriented moment. And that big story has a romance with dominance, you see that in the slide, and a growing appetite for risk. You saw the fires. We experienced the plague. You see how many people are being locked out of education and basic medicine. So when we innovate for the real conditions of our world, Be prepared that not everybody is going to be rewarding you for doing that. Next slide. But our world is rocking now. Next slide. And everybody knows too many have been left behind. And the people who have been left behind are still with us. And more, their needs are urgent and their restlessness is apparent. Next slide. So, that horrible phrase, the bottom line, if we want to be king of the jungle or queen of the jungle, we do have to acknowledge that we have a wild side. And that wild side is not always the most generous, is not always the most cultivated, is not always the most kind. And as king or queen of a jungle, we are still part of a biosystem called life and a community of life that includes not just Americans, not just Indians, not just people from China, but all of us in one future building exercise. So here's a thought. Next slide. We can be better leaders in a biosystem if we look at the real needs of that biosystem and of the community of life, our human community of life. It's not difficult anymore. One of the biggest research organizations in the world, the United Nations, regardless of what you think about the United Nations, they have the money to do the research that we all need to learn from, and they've done it. They know where we need to go to create life-centered innovation. We need to look at those UN Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide. And we need to look at some of the economists that are jumping off the happy train of economic theory that tells us markets will make everything right. And here's a book I would recommend to you that we're using in the program, Donut Economics, a very simple metaphor. Everyone can understand it. Apologies to the author, but you don't need to read the book unless you want to. I hope you do. But you can get it from a diagram. Simply said, we are innovating at the cost of our shared biosystem. So we're making very, very interesting things, but we're operating outside of the Earth's capacity to support our ideation. And here's the horrible part. We're doing that without actually digging into the real needs that real human beings have every single day. Congratulations again to the organizers, to the winners and the submitters of this challenge, because you are already on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. You are already innovating with planetary limits and the needs of people as your first priority. Thank you. Next slide. So one thing we might always remember, the future is an illusion. It's always present. As I'm speaking, I am entering my future. We are all entering our futures as every word moves out of my mouth. That's one of the reasons I hope this is somewhat entertaining and educational for you. If the future is always present as a promise, how are we making a promise and keeping a promise to each other? Or are we simply being lured in the temptation that AI, who doesn't love AI? Everybody does. Who doesn't love design? But that somehow technology is going to make us the people we need to be right now if we want to have the future that we can have. Next slide. So we in the program that I am leading with the help of all of my faculty and all of our students, we are serious about this. And we have a new work coming out, our work, Mission 2030. Why Mission 2030? Because that's when the UN Sustainable Goals actually need to be accomplished. It's 40 quarters away in the language of business people who innovate. But we have only 40 quarters, but if you look at where your companies are innovating right now, I'm not so sure that they're on mission. So we're asking you to be on mission with us because we and you see the future. And we know that the tides are rising and it will require expert navigation. We'd love you to join our crew. There are a couple ways of doing that. You can just take a look at our catalystreview.net. It's free, it's accessible, you can look at it. Next slide. We want to thank you for being you and for adding to our shared humanity, and also encourage you, next slide. Wrong slide. QR code slide. There we are. Okay. So if you're interested in journeying further with us and learning more about Mission 2030, leading as if life matters, and designing life-centered innovation, please check in with this QR code. Everybody tells me it's going to work. All you need to do is scan it, and then I can say goodbye with another bit of gratitude. Thank you.
So we have
McBride, thank you so much for the talk. That was very powerful indeed. And I, for one, am very excited to read more about your book. And so I think we have a couple of minutes for the Q&A. I'm trying my best to kind of pick out the best questions for you, keeping in mind the time we have. So if you're ready, I have the first question ready for you. So first question is, how should education, and in particular design, adapt to the new normal?
Well, that's a great question. I wonder who's asking it. If you're an educator, you can look at your curriculum and you can see who you're citing, what models you're using, and how you may be reinforcing normals that will shut us all down and lock us all down. If you're a participant in learning, a so-called student, you can take the role of also being a teacher and help your faculty, most of whom are not 12, learn about the real conditions of your world. And you can fully enter your classroom as fully enabled people, not just passive recipients of education. And finally, if you're designing curricula and if you're doing work, make sure that you're really paying attention to who makes the rules and who suffers the consequences of those rules. There is structural, systemic discrimination in normal. It doesn't have to be that way. And my guess is 10 years from now, in your world, it won't be.
Thank you. So the next question for you is, do you think companies should focus on the basic needs in the new normal?
You know, that's a great question. Everybody, I think Maslow's hierarchy of needs chart has gotten so much play during the virus. It's astounding. It's just really astounding to me. If Maslow were alive today, he would never, and he came very close to saying this while he was alive, he would never say, as human beings, we have a pyramid of needs. Of course we need to eat. Of course we need security. Of course we need to affiliate with those people who will respect us. We need self-esteem. But really, where does your need start? As a baby, it starts by making sure your diaper is changed. But pretty quickly, it starts moving into how do I get to the cookie jar? And very, very quickly, before you're even 3 years old, it's how do I complicate my parents' lives and indicate that I'm an independent, active agent in my own life. That's why we put children in corners or give them cell phones or pretty much placate them any way we can, because children know that the pyramid only works for parents. No, one more toy, one more thing is not going to make me quiet. I want love. I want esteem. I want you. So I think the way that we address human needs is to understand that human beings are fully dimensional even when they're hungry.
That's a great response. I hope the person who's asked us was able to, comprehend it and understand that. So the next question for you is, how do we balance the present with the future in addressing the problems we see and foresee?
Well, there's that ridiculous phrase, the present is a present. I mean, it's a little cute, but it is a good point. I mean, I believe in starting with gratitude. I believe that the present is a present. And I also know it can be a curse. I mean, if you're a refugee running for your life, right now the present doesn't feel like a present, but it actually is, because you've got feet and you've made a decision to start running. So I think there will always be that creative tension. For creative people, it can be creative tension. There will always be that tension between how do I feed my family in a company that really doesn't want to even do the right things, forget about the sustainable things, and how do I keep enough of my human energy alive to reach, as many of the participants in the challenge did, to reach for the other in my spare time. You guys are not doing this full time, I don't think. In your spare time, in that time that life leaves you, you are doing something to enable other people. That is always possible. But I'm not naive. Enterprise energy is what it is. It's organized to meet quarterly returns. It's organized to make a very few people very wealthy in global markets. Enterprise energy is not shifting as quickly as it needs to, but it is shifting because it does have customers. By the way, not consumers, customers. People who decide to buy or not to buy. It's not Hamlet, but it's important to the modern day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I think we've done quite a few questions for the audience, and it was a really great talk. Yes, Babu, please go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, Mary, thank you, and we'll be coming back to you in maybe next 5 minutes to announce awards. So we stay there, Mary.
Thank you.
So talking about that, Babu, I think we're finally here, and I think it's finally time, and I think there are a lot of people waiting for this exact moment. A lot of people, a lot of teams have put in a lot of effort, and now it's time to see what they're going to get out of this designx Awards. So I think teams, I hope, this being live, I hope you're also as excited and as pumped as we are to, announce the awards. We've also been working very hard and, putting in a lot of hours and making sure things are going smoothly. To talk further on the process and what we've achieved and what we're able to accomplish through the designx Awards, I would like to invite Ranjit Tai, who's also one of the co-chairs for the designx Awards, who's been leading it, who's been there since the beginning. Ranjit, over to you.
Thank you very much, Rohan. And good morning, good evening, everyone. I am so thrilled today to lead these efforts of designx Award 2020, co-chairing and leading this designx Awards. We, as a design community, has moved with this COVID-19 crisis. There were many concepts out there. We spent a lot of time brainstorming about what could be a great contest which can create an impact and also which can be executable easily. After that, we came up with this concept. The concept for this year is life in lockdown. What if the lockdown situation is more than a year? Looks like that's getting continued now. It's unclear how long this lockdown situation can be continued. But what's clear is that the world will not be same again. Every aspect of our life, whether it's going to be business, whether it's going to be healthcare, whether it's going to be economy, education, agriculture, no matter what, name it anything, it has to be looked from a new perspective. And a thought, an idea of designers uniting across the globe and do something about this serious problem. When we announced this problem and this contest, nearly 1,200 plus designers, students, non-designers, passionate citizens across the globe has took part of this challenge. Not only that, there are 250 teams from diverse projects, highly relevant problems, and amazing, great design solutions. And Out of this 250 teams, jury has finalized 30 shortlisted entries based on best of the best from that 250 entries. And I can tell you one thing, the quality of this work these teams has put together in a very short span of just 3 weeks is incredible. And not only that, it made all of us put it in a tough situation to identify the best of the best among all these 250 entries. And to mention, 200 plus mentors who have guided and inspired students, non-designers, to realize their creative potential. These mentors are leaders across, design leaders across the globe, working for multiple corporates, entrepreneurs, and professionals. We have 5 award categories for today. Best in Industry Award, Best in Academia Award, and Best in General Award, which is citizens and others who were part of this. Not only that, we have 2 other opportunities for the teams to win. Number 1 is Jury Choice Award. What this means is jury can choose without any criteria and actually nominate any of the winners. And People Choice Awards, most of the teams shared their entries in social media, and there are some parameters in terms of number of views, number of shares, number of the viewing time, these awards. Today, I'm so excited to come to a situation of doing this. And each jury members, we have like great jury members, more than 60 plus jury members across the globe has joined this competitions. And jury evaluation criteria, there are 6 factors for jury evaluation criteria. 1, problem identified. Is this problem relevant? Is it urgent? Is it relevant? Is this design solution unique? And how innovative is this? How effective is it? Is the UX simple, intuitive from a user experience perspective? The design process, what is the process followed? What is the methodology? What is the third process thinking behind each and every solution? And most importantly, impact to the society. How is the design solution going to touch people's life and improve the quality of life, which creates a positive impact? And last but not the least, the practicality and viability of the solution. Is it solution viable, or is that sustainable? Each criterion was rated at the scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is very poor, where 5 is excellent. Out of this, our jury, 60 plus jury members, has evaluated each and every entry. And in fact, I just want to mention this, we made this whole jury process so transparent. And in fact, we also educated all our teams and also jury members in terms of how this evaluation process is going to be happen for each members. And quickly, just recap about the award process and the timelines. We called for entries on 10th May, and we closed the registrations on 17th May. And more than 250 teams have submitted their entries from 10 plus countries. Jury round 1 was happened during 7th and 11th May, where out of that, 30 finalists were announced. And these finalists did go in for the jury, online jury. These are live jury sessions where each of these participants and finalists got 7 minutes to pitch live and 3 minutes for jury question and answers. It was very, very, very tough. And in fact, we were incredibly thrilled looking at those solutions. Each and every single presentation is amazing and outstanding. I don't have words. I'm searching for words looking at those presentations. And I know, and the winner announcements is today, and I know all the participants across the globe are eagerly waiting for 2 days, waiting for today. Without any further delay, I hereby invite our chief guest, Dr. Mary McBride and Khaladar Bapu, to do the honors and unveil the prestigious designx Social Innovation Award for the year 2020. I know you all are ready, and I believe you're ready. And being said, design, set, and go. All right. So I know everyone is very, very much excited. Let's open the winner in the category of Best in the Industry. And let me talk about this a bit. Our jury has the most toughest time in finalizing the best of the best in this category. All designers competed against each other to produce great work in just a span of 3 weeks. That's what really making the running the fuel out. Dr. McBride and Khaladar Bapu, please do the honors. Over to you. Best in the Industry award goes to.
So Mary, would you like to announce, Mary?
Oh no, I'm going to let you do that, but I will be your.
No, you shouldn't. We're all waiting for you, Mary.
Best in the Industry award. The team is so excited and can't wait to.
Let's move ahead for now. I think looks like
Next. Students, I think I've been noticing from multiple years for the awards. Students are always produced amazing results. And sometimes student work is far superior these days with fully experienced professionals and amazingly incredible work. And this year, I'm not surprised because this year is no different. Students really blasted with creative juices. Dr. McBride and Khaladar Bapu, please do the honors in revealing the best student project.
yeah. So I think I would like to announce it. Before that, I think Kumresh, can you unmute please and try again, if possible? Let's see if you are able to make it today. If not, we'll continue with without your audio. Increase your volume, Kumresh.
All right, Bapu, let's move on. I think looks like there is a technical issue, and let's announce the winners.
Okay.
Winner for academia.
So Kumresh, can we move to the next one otherwise?
Bapu, I think maybe when the conference is over and the technical difficulties
Yes.
are
Yeah.
solved,
Yes.
and you have permission from the winners, maybe to post the videos that explain their project for everyone, because they were really inspirational and well done.
Sure, Mary.
So-
We already all the projects are already online at UMBO Design website, and we're going to share all the videos and all the sound clips also, because we could not able to play it now. And
So best design in citizens and professional category is awarded to Team by Design.
congratulations, Team by Design.
Congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
That's it. So the team is Uma Maheshwari, Raj Komal, Jaypriya, and Kavya. Congratulations, folks.
Okay, and the third award, which is in Education Institutes, that award goes to Team UI. So I'll try to play these YouTube videos, what Mary you were talking about, so that actually people can see.
Babu, let's don't play the videos, because I think looks like they could not able to play song with some.
Give up on technology, it doesn't give up on you.
Congratulations, Team UI, for the Best Academia.
Yeah. Shall I share the other one, D5, other winner?
Yes, I think we should showcase the winner for the DeFi is on Best Enterprise Award. Let's actually look at the award entry. Over to you, Babu. Let's look at the industry award, Best in the Industry Award contestant entry.
With lockdown becoming the new normal among the 6.7 million Tamil Nadu population, domestic violence, child abuse, cyberbullying has been increasing. Calling 100 or 1098 for everyday chaos is less feasible. Here comes our digital buddy, Humans of Chennai, in handy to the rescue. Self-explanatory application walkthrough. Seamless registration with just one click. Awesome secret message sending feature that abusers will never have a clue about. Thoughtful hidden app feature that can save the victims. Customized home screens for better camouflage. Assured help at times of extreme emergency. Timely chat to uplift depressed minds. Useful info about the help communities nearby. This is Humans of Chennai.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Team DeFi. And this is the category which our jury had a very, very, very tough time. Babu, we want to move to next to Jury Choice Award.
I think we have by design, right? So by design is, let's look at that by design also.
All right. So let's go through by design. So by design.
That's from citizens category. So Ameri, these are mostly like non-designers and citizens, or one of them could be the designer kind of team. With the help of mentors, actually they came up with a solution within the 2 weeks.
Coming from work empty-handed has become the norm for Yohane Yacob. The daily laborer makes little money, and food prices have soared since the discovery of the coronavirus here.
We don't have health insurance. If someone in the family gets really sick, we try to get them treatment, but if we don't have the money, we wait for the illness to pass. We rarely eat nutritious food. Now with this new disease, I've not even thought of stocking up because I barely have money for one day.
Food prices have trebled since the virus was found in Sudan. Several government directives have been issued aimed at containing the spread, including banning large crowds. But over the past few weeks, fuel and bread shortages have resulted in long queues. And that's not the only challenge.
Our government has planned to launch the concept of mobile medicals to distribute medicines for people who are all taking treatment in government hospitals, military, and railway hospitals. Patients should bring their medical prescription or medication book to get their medicines. As it is a mobile medical, it will come to your doorstep. So please don't rush and form any crowd. When you come out of your home, please wear a mask and maintain social distance. And be ready with your prescription or medical book and get your medicines at your doorstep. For every Saturday, our mobile medical will come to your street, even to your doorstep. You can get your medicines by showing your prescription or medication book. That's simple, right?
Yep. So
Perfect. Let's move on to the Jury Choice Award. Over to you, Dr. Mary and Kaladar, to reveal the Jury Choice winners.
So I'm sure this is definitely difficult for Mary to pronounce. Okay. So the team is Prayas.
Congratulations, Team Prayas. And for making up to Jury Choice Award. Jury Choice is something which jury can choose anyone who's not able to make in these three categories. And these guys did a fantastic job. And congratulations, Prayas.
Yeah. So I'm going to show their video.
Siko, as an educator, I really have to say that we need what you're doing so much. I mean, and you can add to that students in quarantine hotels with no computers. So you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, team, and fantastic, and congratulations. And let's now move on to the last award, is People Choice Awards.
So
The team took themselves to spread the word across, market these ideas in the social media, media platforms, and thereby spreading the good design goodness. Babu, over to you, and Mary, over to you.
So Mary, to share with you, so not just only identifying the problem and also coming up with a solution, we also wanted the teams to market their solution and problem, what they want to solve. So as part of that, this is like how many maximum number of hours people viewed was one of the criteria for this award. There was a big competition, neck-to-neck competition, and at one point of time, you said, okay, this is where we take a kind of snapshot of who has got maximum number of hours viewed. I think I'm sure I think that they have around 2,000 hours of view happened to this project. The winner is, I'm sure there are multiple number of teams who are competing for it. This is definitely exciting for them to know that they won it. The People Choice Award goes to Team Revive. I'm going to share their video.
Team Revive, congratulations, guys.
Humans have truly evolved, and technology has become an ingrained part of our life. We have united with the machines to bring the best out of us. They are our study partner, our personal help, and now even a friendly companion. But what happens when this part of us malfunctions? Enters Corona. Oh, you dropped your phone. Its screen is broken. Your washing machine won't work. You can't post images of your Dalgona coffee because you couldn't make one because your hand blender malfunctioned. After speaking with people who were stuck in different zones during the lockdown, we were able to empathize and understand how difficult life becomes without our beloved devices. We conducted an independent survey, 400 plus participants, which revealed that 60% of the people had encountered some sort of device malfunction during the lockdown, and 71% of the participants were not willing to allow the entry of technicians to their homes. However, in this current lockdown scenario, there isn't much that can be done if you break something. Well, worry no more, because we have a solution. With the help of Atmanirbhar, you can find the right kind of help from a large community of people from across the world. Just search for your device specifications and get AR-assisted repair guides from community content creators to help you learn repairs easily at home without coming in contact with a technician. But more than that, what it really helps you become is self-sustainable, because once you learn a skill, it can never be unlearned, and you truly become Atmanirbhar. But let's say you're not able to fix things on your own. What do? The world we live in has never been more connected. With the help of technicians nearby your area, you'll get remote assistance over a video call. The app enables the local technicians to be at many places at one time, helping solve many different problems without having to get up from their workstations. It is still possible that the problem is too complex and cannot be fixed on your own. Worry not. You don't leave your hand. You can choose to get your device inspected by a nearby local technician who provides a contact-free pickup and delivery with prescribed safety precautions. Just pack your device and drop it off at your door. So in this way, we ensure that the technicians also have a constant source of income during the tough times. Although we started out by designing for the pandemic situation, we realized that the impact of our solution is long-term and deep-rooted. Each time we choose to repair and reuse, we prevent toxic e-waste from ending up in landfills. The more you repair, the less you buy. After all, Every penny saved is every penny earned. Learning to repair is an amazing feeling. And once you learn to repair things on your own, you would truly become self-reliant. Fixing simple devices is way more exciting than solving a picture puzzle. And the cognitive reward of accomplishment is priceless. Why wait for a 4-year degree when you can impress your family and friends with just a plier, a screwdriver, and a few bolts? Through Atmanirbhar, we are empowering local businesses and services by giving them an online platform to earn more in these testing times. So let's bring about a change within us. Together, let's fix this up, one device at a time.
Fantastic. Congratulations, team.
Yeah. So as Mary, as you see that we are all sitting at home at different continents and working and connecting to make this happen. So one of our ambassadors, he's from Chennai. He's actually trying to show his screen. We couldn't see it, but we're trying to give it a try once. Kumlesh, would you like to run and see if it works? It's fine. Otherwise, we'll move ahead. Late, Kumlesh.
Or Bapu, I think otherwise, you can share it, right? You can do it from, take the link and why don't you do it from bandwidth issues maybe from Chennai?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, we'll actually put it in our website. Yeah, so let's move on.
All right, so can you switch back to the presentation, Bapu?
Yeah. So, Mary, what do you think? Would you like to share a few words about what you've seen?
I think I have actually shared it so much by starting my slides with gratitude, because I see, as you might imagine, I'm part of a lot of design challenges. I'm on a lot of jury panels. I see a lot of interesting things. And frankly, interesting isn't quite the same as moving. And I found these to be interesting and moving. And yes, to some degree, it's because you created a social innovation challenge, but also it's because people entered it. And they didn't just enter into things that would help them maybe get the next job, maybe impress the next employer, maybe show how sophisticated they were with technology. All of their projects can help them get the next job, start the next business, and indicate that they're sophisticated enough with technology to shape the future. So I think that's what I would say. I'm very privileged to be a part of this team for a moment and a half. Thank you very much. I didn't have to do any of the hard work. You all did that, but I can offer you congratulations, prototypers of the future.
Thank you very much, Mary. And one thing I just want to tell you guys, congratulations to all the participants and winners. People who did not win, you are also winners, guys. These presentations are tremendously very good. As Mary said, right, participating itself tells you are a winner and contributing with design goodness, right? With this, we're going to conclude our designx Social Innovation Challenge Awards 2020, and we will share you all these links available in our website so that we can keep looking at all these awards. Congratulations to all the participants and winners again. Just remember one thing, right? Even the world is moving towards digital transformation, and the digital transformation is happening right now. And think about this, how much meticulously planned, but still we have technical mashups, right? Hackups and all of the things, right? So we need to think as a designers, think about all these scenarios and solutions and all scenarios so that, we can make it accessible, and also think about all scenarios to make lives better. Over to you, Bapu.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Ranjit. So congrats again, all the winners. We will take this forward to collaborating with governments and NGOs, and also a lot of investors are already showing interest to work with you guys. We'll get back to you on that. So what's next? I sincerely thank Dr. McBride for gracing this occasion and launching UMO Experience Program with your insightful talk. As an effort of this pandemic, we see so much of pain, suffering, insecurity, and uncertainty surrounding us. It is time for us to step up, take charge, and be resilient. Remember, we are isolated at united. Win an award or not, let's not lose sight of the picture here. I've seen many passionate people come up with innovative ideas. Let's strive to keep that up and aim to solve the problem you defined. As someone wise once said, life is not a race, but a journey. This downtime has given us our own space to introspect and connect to our inner selves. Bring your thoughts, ideas, creativity, skills, and passion for our collective good. If you have an idea which you want to take further, we at UMO would love to foster it and together take it forward. Let's keep creating and innovating. Thank you. Over to you, Rohan.
Thank you, Bapu. Thank you, Dr. McBride, and thank you, Ranjit. I think this being the first designx Awards going completely live, I think it was something new even for us to experiment with. But looking at the way teams have presented over the past few weeks has been inspiring, and I hope Dr. McBride's talk keynote on the same designx theme will turn into a lot of learning for all the participants. So I think we are towards the end of the session. Bapu and Ranjit have covered most of what we have to say. So if core team could all come together onto the screen, I think we would all like to say thanks to everybody, starting from all our volunteers, ambassadors, mentors, jury members, and partners for being part of this journey. Once again, I congratulate all the participants, finalists, and winners for the way you have celebrated this